Welcome to the Million Vegan Grandmothers podcast. And today I have one of my posse members, Paige Parsons Roach, and she's going to be speaking on our convergence. And this is a really neat convergence because it's actually a virtual convergence and it's in person as well. Unfortunately, I won't be there, but Paige will be there in Scottsdale, Arizona on the 9th and 10th of November. So you'll
Good.
be watching this video just a couple days before the actual convergence. So if you watch it and you live in the area or you don't and you want to register, please do. So this convergence is going to be called Roadmap to a Vegan World, Planet B. And the idea of a Planet B, because we've heard many activists say there is no Planet B, but we say, yeah, there is. It's a vegan planet. It's a
Yeah.
planet where we live in harmony and peace. Won't that be nice? And Paige, you're going to be presenting on the convergence, and you're going to be there live to present, and you're going to be talking about recycle and repurpose for goodness sakes. So thank you for being here, Paige.
Actually, not recycle. We're composting and repurpose. And I love what you came up with, which is resourcing. I absolutely love that. Turning something that is a resource into a new source that we can use. So that's basically the idea. But I also want to just, for those of people that don't know me, I'm Paige. I'm part of Plant-Based in the Burbs. I thought I would just give a quick hello to our brand, Plant-Based in the Burbs. We stream cooking shows on Unchained TV. And here's the thing. The most important thing I want to leave people with, and we're going to be talking more about this in person when we're in person and virtual, is the idea that we are no longer, um, what do I want to say? Like, it's no longer okay to just toss things in the trash and hope that they go away some fairyland, that something's going to be done with them. Aside So I'm thrilled to be here. Himza, namaste. Yes, so Paige Parsons Roach here, and I want to give a shout out to our brand, Plant-Based in the Burbs, and we have some cooking shows on the Unchained TV network. So take a look, Plant-Based in the Burbs, and we're going to be talking about at the Convergence. I'm super excited. We're going to be talking about how we can repurpose things. And one of the key things that we need to note is when we throw something in the trash and we think it goes away, basically what it's doing is it's going into a landfill situation here in the United States, particularly where I live. And then what happens is if we put a banana peel with a couch cover and then we put some paper on top of it and then we just keep stacking, what's happening is methane is being created. And right now, we have a generation of very climate anxious young adults. And we're all about creating solutions for mitigating climate, increasing the carbon on the planet, and providing those solutions for these young adults and the people of our generations as well, right?
Mhm.
And change is hard, but once we start making the changes, then we can help the future generations, right? So one of the things that I really love to show is my compost bin. I'm just going to point that out real quickly. And in here are my food scraps. So everybody's eating on the planet, right? And everybody creates some kind of a food waste. So I'm not eating the banana peels. I do try to repurpose them by making a smoothie facial, right, out of banana peels and the inside. So we'll be talking about that. The avocado peels, the inside, you can rub on your face as well. You can also use the coffee grounds for a facial. So that's just some of the fun things that we can do for repurposing. But the bottom line is by taking your food scraps out of the trash landfill, you're helping right there. So now the question is, where do we put them? So we put them here. We have a whole composting where we're creating soil in our backyard. in the state of California and many states and many countries are doing this too. You can take your food waste and put it into a system that's like a city system or a state system. Like we have a green bin, and they're taking that and turning it into soil or turning it into repurposed options. Now, maybe you don't have that option. Maybe you live in an apartment or you have a single dwelling or you're living van life, whatever it is for you, right? So the goal is to help you come from eating your food, right? Maybe you're growing food too. Growing your food, eating your food, taking those scraps and purposing them elsewhere, repurposing them. So that's the goal. That's what we're going to be talking about. But we're also going to be talking about other ways that people in general can resource their items, right? There's lots of ways. So we're going to be having a very interactive discussion and conversation and back and forth. I just led this interactive workshop at a fruit festival in California, in the Los Angeles area. And everybody was raving about how fun it was to exchange ideas. And as simple as it sounds, one gal said, "Will you please teach me how to sew a button on?" She does not know how to sew. So we're going to have a sewing class. And as simple as that sounds, it's that she just doesn't wear that item anymore because it needs a button. And I'm like, oh, or she has a seamstress, but she'd rather be empowered. She travels all over the world. So you can bring a thread and a needle with you wherever you go and use that opportunity to learn and to be empowered in your own way with many different things. So we're going to be talking about that at VCOP.
That's great. And it's part of the Planet B that we're building, the vegan planet of empowerment, of self-sustaining food and growing. And the one thing that I really love about composting that I do at home, because I live out in the country, is it's very hard when you're enriching your garden to get vegan compost. No animal inputs whatsoever. So when you compost on your own and your own food, you know it's veganic to add to your vegan garden. So thank you. And the other thing I was thinking about when you were talking, Paige, is when I was in university, one of my first science courses when I was quite young, it was called The Science of Human Concern. And the biology of human concern was the course. And he said that everyone suffers with the NIMBY effect, and it stands for not in my backyard. And that is right across the board, whether it's throwing our trash out. We wouldn't want our trash all to pile up in our yard, right? So we just get rid of it and pretend it doesn't exist. We do the same with the slaughterhouses that we hide in where people can't see. We do it the same when there's a war or extreme food deserts in certain parts of our countries, or people in poverty. We segregate them to certain places so we don't have to see the suffering. So we need to move out of a world of not in my backyard, the NIMBY effect, to something much more powerful. We'll have to build a new acronym for that, Paige.
Yes. I also like to say, taking personal responsibility for collective change, that's something I feel we've lost. We've lost that I'm responsible for what I put into my trash can and where it goes, and you had originally brought up recycling. And, here in California right now, I'm not seeing it. It's not happening. I don't know what's going on. I've got to figure this out because we used to have the blue bins that would indicate where to separate your trash. I'm not seeing that. It's not on the beaches. They just have one trash. So are they separating? Who's doing that? Who's they, right? So when I say are they, I'm even, we have a waste management, but what's happening with this? Are we really turning these bottles and cans into something else? And there's lots of things that are being worked on right now, like mushrooms breaking down plastics. I just say it's going to take a while for these new systems to be put into place. What can we do right now, every single day to make an impact? We just all need to take that personal responsibility. And one thing I'm promoting is take your food scraps out of the trash. Boom, 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 boom. It's a song I created and I mean it. It's like, take your food scraps out of the trash, take your food scraps out of the trash, because everyone can do that. You can stop and say, hey, where's that banana peel going to go? Where's that apple core going to go? Oh, and now I'm seeing more composting than I am really kind of recycling. It's interesting. At restaurants, they'll say organics. At college campuses that I've been on recently, I'm seeing that they have a place for organics or compost food. So I love that. Now, the state of California, it's a mandate, it's a law. All the restaurants, all the businesses, and all the residents need to be taking their food scraps out of the trash. It's just who's policing this, right? So I'm doing my best to encourage the restaurants and teaching them. I've taught 2 restaurants what they can do independently to create a waste scenario where it's the food waste is being repurposed, including their brown napkins and their brown utensils and not utensils, but their paper plates and things like that. So it takes all of us. I mean, it takes a village, and we're beyond the village now. We are big cities. A lot of us live close to them, or we interact with cities, companies or organizations, or even, entities. We're involved with things, right? So if we go to like a workshop somewhere, or we visit a foundation or something like, and we're interacting with multiple people, we have an opportunity to impact them in a positive way. Of course, showing them how to eat plant-based foods and showing them how they can be in charge and vote with their dollars, right? To purchase the plant-based foods. That's one of the largest things that we can do right now to mitigate our climate crisis. I want to bring up one other piece because this is part of what I'm presenting at VCOP as well, at the Convergence, is the plant-based treaty. I've joined the campaign team and one of the organizers, and everyone can take action and sign and endorse individually as well as with their companies. And the bottom line is West Hollywood, for instance, just signed on and endorsed plant-based treaty. They're also committed through an initiative with Mercy for Animals. They're committed to bringing plant-based foods to all of their events and conferences as a default. And through the plant-based treaty initiative, working with them, they're committed to bringing more plant-based at bars, restaurants, and businesses. So as an individual, we can make that kind of change by endorsing it and then requesting that the team support their city in endorsing and making changes. So this is just exciting to me because I feel like we're moving the needle, and it's happening right here in West Hollywood in California. It just happened a couple of weeks ago. So I just, I'm very excited. The other thing is, what's great is when you get one of these guides, and I'll have them for you, you can also ask Plant-Based Treaty for it. Yeah, there's lots of resources here. And I absolutely love this. I really want to spread this around. This is on my refrigerator, but I think this is a new plate, right? It's a new and it's plant-based plate. So I'm all about resourcing and having resources for people so that they can feel empowered. Where are they going to get their protein, their iron, their calcium, right? It's all here for you. So Plant-Based Treaty is a great initiative. You can go to plantbasedtreaty.org to find out more.
That's beautiful. And the founder of Plant-Based Treaty is such a gift. She's here in Canada, and she doesn't want to take the credit for it. She says it's absolutely a community that has built the Plant-Based Treaty. But really brilliant minds come together, and like you said, reusing. It's not just a flyer. It's a whole menu of ways to understand plant-based food, which is really, really important. So tell us, Paige, what are you excited about with the Convergence coming up in a few days?
It is coming up in a few days. I will say, I drove from California to Arizona in 2018 with a carload of activists, Jane Velez Mitchell's car, and we just piled in and we activated, and I met so many great people. I met Renee King-Sonin, Dolly. I met Rebecca. I met so many great people from the plant-based world space, vegan world space, activism space. And then I drove again on 2019. And in 2018 was the introduction to the community of climate healers, right? 2019 was really about the white paper that Dr. Rao is writing about animal agriculture being one of the leading causes of our climate crisis, right? And after that, he had written the paper and went forward with it. This is the first time we'll be in person since 2019. So what am I excited about? I'm excited to hug my friends. I'm excited to be with people, to create, but also to incorporate the Zoom aspect, the hybrid, because globally we're reaching people. And so this is an opportunity for people who are vegan curious, veg curious, vegetarian, all of the above are welcome to the space. It is a vegan space. So we are going to be definitely talking about things that might be uncomfortable for people, a bit of a disruption, and that's a good thing. That's the other thing I want to welcome for people.
Mhm.
Welcome the disruption on your plate. We're not here to make a ton of money. None of us are in this because we're making a lot of money at any of this. Okay. That's number one. Number two is that we want to bring about a healthier planet, our planet be a healthier planet, and healthier people. We care about people. We genuinely care about people. So I'm excited that this information is going to be available to people all over the world through the hybrid program, as well as wherever you are in the world. You can fly in, drive in, carpool in. I'm carpooling from Los Angeles. We're driving, and be a part of this change of our community, with our community, our climate healers community. I'm so grateful for the pinky promise that Dr. Silas Rao and Kamaya, his granddaughter, made years ago that has inspired me to take action every day for real. So if you don't know about the Pinky Promise, you can go on Amazon and get his book. It's called The Pinky Promise, but many of you might already know, but it was a promise to bring about a vegan world by 2026. So
Oh, and we're getting close. We're getting close. There's lots of changes. And it's not just climate. I'd like to remind everybody listening, it's the grandmothers are about the grandchildren of all species. And we don't just focus on climate. We focus on the ecosystems and the homes and the babies of all grandparents of all species, and how their homes are being destroyed and their lives. And so we invite you all to meditate and imagine a world where there's no harm and where we start to restore what matters most, because it's all part of the living system that we so much value in our life. So thank you for being here, Paige. We're excited that you are here. Reverse climate change. Yes.
yes, yes, and eat plants.
So
eat,
simple.
eat plants.
Yeah. And I love what you said about those sacred promises. Paul and I are writing a book. We're at the tail end of it, called The Essence of Sacred Relationships. And it's relationship not just as a couple, family, community, but it's our sacred relationships with the earth that we built even before we were born. They were built by multi-generations of ancestors that were building relationships with our water, our air, our plants, and other living beings. So thank you, Paige. We'll see you soon.
Okay, peace and plants, everybody. We'll see you soon.